Well, guys, I was scrolling the internet and I saw this. I don't know if you can see the price or not, but a $699,999 Mercedes Sprinter van. Now, guess what? This thing is decked out with basically everything that you could possibly have on a Sprinter van. And we all know that the base four-wheel drive Mercedes Sprinter van is not cheap to start out with. But that kind of got me thinking, now that we've been seeing a lot of these vans and rigs in the multiples of hundreds of thousands of dollars, I just kind of want to look back. So we started Vanlife back when it was just something cool to do, when it was like, hey, let's travel cheaply and not pay for hotels. And now it has evolved into something crazy. So we have a big announcement to make.
And no, we're not pregnant.
Well, not yet anyways. We've now been living in our truck camper for a while, and I kind of have the itch to build again. And this is the perfect opportunity for me to show you from the ground up how I build a budget-friendly rig that is functional, economical, a lot cheaper than a $700,000 Sprinter van, a lot cheaper than even just a regular Sprinter van can be. Now that being said, we're not going totally budget on this. We're not just going to get a minivan and throw a mattress in the back. It's got to be aesthetically pleasing. It's got to be somewhat budget friendly. And I just want to show people that it is possible to still do van life, to still get into this wonderful lifestyle in 2024 without having hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, in our rig that we're building, we know exactly what we want because we have been doing this lifestyle for a long time now. We've been through like 3 different rigs together. I had a rig before I met Susanna, and so we're just going to combine all of that experience as far as what we need. And that's an important thing I want to bring up. When you're considering a build, you're going to look at maybe our build or some other people's builds on the internet, and you're going to say, oh, I need that, or I don't need that. And sometimes once you get into this lifestyle and you start traveling, you realize what you really need and what you really don't need. So for us, we need a massive amount of solar and a good sized battery bank because we run an espresso machine and a coffee roaster. But if you're just trying to run a laptop in Starlink, you might not need as much battery capacity and solar as we do. I don't know if you can see it, but right over there, there's a deer. This is one of the beautiful things. We've seen deer, we've seen elk, we've seen so many different pieces of wildlife out here. Just in general, like in the past few days, we've also seen antelope as well.
And once you get on the road, you'll figure out what you need and what you don't need. Some things you'll pack thinking you'll use it all the time, and you might never use it the whole time you're on the road. And I found that if it's harder to get to, you're not going to use it. When we first got married and started traveling in the van, I was still set on using a blow dryer and a curling iron and a straightener and doing my makeup every day, and had a little mirror that I could do that in. And it just became a hassle. And then when we moved into the bus, I still brought all those things with me, and I didn't use any of the hair tools the whole time we were in the bus. And I haven't since either. So you learn what you can do without, and it works. Heatless curls.
And speaking of storage, that's one of the things that we're going to prioritize in our next build is functional storage. We found for us that lifting up a couch for storage underneath, we hardly ever lift up the couch. Now, if we just build drawers underneath the couch, then we'll access storage that way. But just in general, the easier something is to get to, the more often you'll use it and the more functional your space will be. All of that being said, the build that we're doing, it might not be right for you. You might not like the electrical system we use. You might not like the storage or the colors or anything like that. But this will just kind of be a culmination of our experience of nomad living over the years. And we'll just be able to do a build that is cheap enough to prove it's possible in 2024. Now, everybody starts in kind of a different place in this nomadic living situation. I started out of my Prius. I put a mattress in the back of my Prius and got on the road. I added things like solar and a refrigerator and stuff like that as I went and as I learned what I needed and what I wanted. And if that's where you're going to start, that's fine. You might not buy a box truck, you might not buy a van, you might just get in your car and go. This lifestyle is great in that there are so many options. No one is excluded. You don't have to have a ton of money to get started. It can be just as simple as putting a mattress in your car and driving to a spot that you've never seen before. After living on the road for a long time now, we're going to go a bit more in depth in the build to make it functional, super functional for actual full-time use. Anyways, we've got some exciting things coming up. We're selling our rig, building a new one, and we're going to document it right here on this YouTube channel, which I have not done a good job in the past of documenting my builds. So this one, we're making that a priority. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you would put in your ideal rig.